morning and welcome back. Really important topic here. Most parents know about the dangers in their own homes for their kids.
Yeah, but what about the dangers in the homes of your kids' friends, for example? Do you know whether your kids' friends' homes have guns in them or whether there's pot in their friends' homes? Melissa Benaroya is a parenting coach. She is here to help us sort out this and a lot of other really important topics. So what do kids and parents and people you speak with say, what are the biggest risks right now for kids?
Yeah. Well, I think the fears that a lot of parents have are, number one, obviously the child predators, like when I'm not around, who could be influencing my child? Number one is one of the big concerns. And the second one, kind of like you had said, is, are they safe in other people's homes? Because as kids get older, they go to play dates and they're in people's homes that they don't necessarily know that well. So how do I keep them safe, especially with the rise in gun violence and all of the accidental deaths and injuries that are happening right now? So I think those are kind of the top two that I hear most parents concerned about.
How do you talk to your kids about who and what is safe and what isn't? Because if you have that conversation, depending on the age, you might worry about scaring them a little bit, but it's also really important to talk about.
Yeah, it is important to talk about. So I think, number one, using scare tactics is not super helpful because they tend to shut down. And quite honestly, the people that are predators most often are people that the children know. So it's not like the scary guy lurking on the street, it's people they know. So I think it's helping kids kind of tune in to their own instincts and noticing that little voice telling them whether or not something's okay or not okay. And knowing that a lot of the people that we really need to be concerned are the people in their life. So they may know them very well. 90% of child incidents is with people they don't know, or people they know, I'm sorry. So, and 30 to 40% of them are actually family members. So I think really the key is kids tuning into their gut instinct, whether it feels okay, whether it's not okay, and parents working really hard to continue to have open dialogue with their kids, really judgmental free, open dialogue, and helping their kids to problem solve, because there's going to be situations where they need those skills. So I think the key is working with kids on open, honest communication and learning to problem solve, because 1 out of 10 kids don't tell anybody.
Right.
So I think focusing on that communication is really important.
So if we can get our kids to recognize their gut, whether it's a person who's making them feel uncomfortable or a situation, you know, where they're feeling uncomfortable, how do we then sort of teach them what to do next in that?
Right. Well, I think the Crime Prevention Council has a really simple message that I think you can work on with young kids. It's know, go, yell, and tell. So letting kids know that when they have that uh-oh feeling, that instinct is talking to them, that they can say no, that manners are out the door. They don't have to, be polite in those situations. They can say no. They need to get out of there. They need to go. So whether it's in the park and it's a stranger, they start running. If it's with a family member or somebody they know in the community, it's time for them to leave and make a scene. Like, they need to know it's okay to make a scene in those moments and find an adult they trust. So whether it's you, if you're there as the parent, that they come to you immediately. If there's not somebody they know really well, ideally finding a mom that has kids is usually a safe bet for kids.
I want to flip the tables a little bit and talk about when there's a situation where there is a gun inside the home. This could be a family you've known for a long time, but now you have kids and you are kind of wondering, how do I approach that conversation? Do I ask them if they have a gun in the home? Should I be concerned if they say yes? Like, then what do I do? Do I just stop the friendship if I'm concerned? How do we navigate around that topic?
Yeah, it's really tough because this isn't a conversation that most parents are really comfortable having, but it's something I think we really need to address. Just in 2017, so far, 924 kids under the age of 17 have been a victim of gun violence. So, that is a huge number in 3 months. So it's a significant issue. And so I think parents need to start asking the questions, and it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And there's ways to ease in by saying things like, hey, you know what? Sophie's really excited to come to your house to play today. I just have a few questions for you. So just kind of easing in, like being really positive. This may sound really weird, but I'm curious, do you guys keep any guns in your house? Or even putting it on somebody else, saying things like, I was in my pediatrician's office the other day and they asked me if I asked parents that Maya visits, whether or not they have guns in their house. I never thought about this before, but I think it's a good question. So do you mind sharing with me? So I think there's ways that we can ask. Parents have gotten really comfortable talking about food allergies, right? That's a danger to kids. So I think we need to just start the dialogue and normalize that this is a question that all parents should be asking when their kids visit others' homes.
What other questions are we not thinking of? I mean, a pot is now legal in our state, for example, and as a parent now I'm like, I guess I should start asking my daughter's friends' parents if they have pot in the home. Again, no judgment on that part. Like, it's fine if they do.
There's no judgment.
I just want to know.
Right, exactly. So I think asking those questions, and then if they do, I think maybe a follow-up, whether it's guns or marijuana, you know, where do you keep that secured? Is that locked up in your home? So making sure that even if they do have it, they're taking care of it, they're being responsible. And if you don't feel comfortable, then just, you know, thank them for their honesty, first of all, right? And being forthcoming, and just maybe suggest having the child over to your house. You know what, I'm not super comfortable, but why don't we have Kimmy over to play at our house instead? Would that work for you? So I think we can turn it around.
Take responsibility. No judgment if you have guns or things like this in your home, but this is how I feel about it, and this is a compromise. Melissa Benarel, thank you so much. And we're going to keep you. After the show, we have so many more questions. So we're going to do a little bit more with you and delve into this a bit further. So
thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.